Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the evil lands of Neverwinter. I'll be delving into some of the more newer content they've added on Neverwinter since I've last played in 2016, meaning I'll be looking at the Slaughterhouse, the Undermountain, things like that. Won't be delving too much into the dungeons as I am not high enough item level to go and delve into those dungeons, so we won't be discovering those things too much. I know a lot of y'all have been asking me to, but I can't just yet, you guys, but don't worry, I'm in the process of increasing my item level so I can go and do those things and actually create a formulative opinion about it so that you guys can listen to it. But anyways, I have some things I want to tell you about the Slaughterhouse and everything else. So let's jump on into it. And enough chitter chatter. Let's go. So the Slaughterhouse, and there's a few things that it actually adds. PvP is the first thing we'll be looking at here, and on the screen you can see is my first match ever in the Slaughterhouse PvP arenas. There's 1v1s and 2v2s. I only managed to get into the 1v1s, luckily, and my first round was not very fun. It was literally just a guy killing himself over and over and over, and I think it was because he did not want to fight me as a paladin, and you'll see why in just a second, why maybe he didn't want to fight me as a paladin. There's a little potion in the center as well. I think that might be some sort of power-up that either player can get on each side. But yeah, this was my first round, so it wasn't very fun at first. I will say, I think this is super unbalanced. I feel like it should only match you up with it. Like, the matchups should be better. This guy was clearly doing this because he did not want to fight me and knew it would be a waste of time. So I'm thinking maybe the matchups are super just unbalanced. It does feel super unbalanced most of the time, because if you're coming in here as like a paladin, you're not gonna have a hard time. You're gonna block all of their abilities, then once they expel all of their abilities, guess what? Now it's your turn. So it's just a lot harder for these players. The PvP, I feel like in this is super unbalanced. My first time playing it, and right off the bat I was like, yeah, this is unbalanced. I feel like I'm hardly even trying. There's not much really to it, just an arena, and I feel like the traps are kind of pointless. They don't really do anything to you if you walk into them. Like, the consequences aren't very dire if you walk into the traps. It's just like a little stun or a tiny baby amount of damage, unless you stand in the traps, which maybe, I mean, if you stun someone and get them stuck in the trap, then that's cool. But anyways, let's take a look at this little fight. Let's enhance the audio and pay attention, because we actually almost died right here, but we lock in luckily. Oh my god, we won! That's crazy. My first round, and I fucking won. That's hilarious. But I continued to a second round of fighting the same guy, and I think it goes to 3 rounds, and I win the second round, and I think he just decided to leave on the third round and didn't want to even fight me and just decided to throw the towel in. So, and you can't use potions in this or anything. It's just raw abilities, artifact abilities, and mount abilities. You can't do anything else, keeping the fight completely fair. That way you can't run away and heal, otherwise this would be pretty stupid. So thankfully they did not include heals there, because that would just be so dumb. So there is some sort of balance towards this. They didn't just not think about it at all. They clearly put some sort of effort towards this and thought, well, if they can't do this and that, made a plan for it. But I do feel like there should be a little bit more to it, but I don't know, it's still enjoyable. It's just straight up 1v1s, 2v2s. This guy was running around so much because I was kicking his ass. He thought he could take me on as a paladin. Look, and like I said, look, block all of his abilities, and then as soon as he's done, I can just use my abilities. He can't really do much. And I'm still full. I'm literally full health. He can do nothing. He can't run because I can stun him. So it's super. And then when you get your ult as the tank in this game mode, or when you get your ult in this game mode as the tank or the paladin, you can't get away from that ult, bro. And it does so much damage. So yeah, this is kind of this is super unbalanced in my opinion when it comes to player versus player. Definitely needs a lot of rebalancing if it were to be an actual like competitive thing or anything like that, obviously, right? But we didn't do too bad. We won our first round of Slaughterhouse, so PvP isn't too crazy. It's just your basic 1v1s, 2v2s, and I don't know. I feel like it is really unbalanced, so take your pick if you want to play that. And I think my general opinion about the Slaughterhouse and everything is at least they're adding stuff still in the game. For a game that's so old, at least they're putting stuff in the game and, you know, bringing updates still. I was surprised when I returned to this game and they were still bringing updates. And we're going to talk a little bit about the actual Slaughterhouse, where you come to survive through rounds and rounds and rounds. And there's a lot of stuff that you can actually gain here. There's missions that you can do, and we'll call it the new currency, to gain more currency, which will allow you to get this very powerful gear. And that's what most people come to grind the Slaughterhouse for. Even in the general tab, where there's a bunch of boxes, if you open those, you can actually get some of these armor pieces, and a lot of these are very worthwhile grinding. That's why there's a lot of players here. You'll see sometimes, when you come to the Slaughterhouse, in the tower district, there's a lot of people that'll wait outside looking to group up. So if you don't want to do this alone, don't worry. If you go to the tower district, a lot of people outside of the slaughterhouse will be sitting there and waiting for other people to join them that just pass by and will ask you or just invite you to the group randomly. So, but this gear is very worthwhile of grinding. You can see a lot of these boxes, if you open these, you have a chance of getting those armor sets. So there is a point of grabbing those. So make sure you guys do that. But a lot of the time you come here and it's just one round of very strong enemies or 2 rounds of weaker enemies and then the boss. So, and the boss can range from anything from dinosaurs, manticores, witch ladies, ogres, duck monsters, literally anything. So you fight an array of enemies, keeping each challenge and each round completely unknown. And you'll want to be prepared before you come down here. In this clip, you can see I kind of start getting pieced up and really messed up, and that's because I didn't have insignia bonuses. You know, I didn't have a companion that was healing me. And you got to make sure you have everything. You know, insignia bonuses, the proper insignias, the proper mount collars, the proper skills on, proper companion. You got to have everything you need before you come in here. You're going to want to make sure you have it ready, because the slaughterhouse isn't easy. It's not something that you'll just be able to get done. It's going to be a challenge, even with a group of people. It would be a lot easier with a group of people, but even with a group, this is still going to be a challenge. Everybody's got to be decently powerful, because the more players, the harder this is actually going to be. The more enemies that are actually going to spawn from each round, and the harder the bosses are even going to be. Because you can see I come in the slaughterhouse unprepared, and I'm a tank trying to use DPS abilities. It's going to cost me a lot, and I'm not going to make it through this slaughterhouse even past the first round. So you need to make sure you got everything to its wit's end, and you're utilizing every bit and every ounce that you actually can from your character. And I wouldn't recommend doing this solo, especially if you're a tank. You're going to be spending a lot of time being absolutely bored, just hitting bosses endlessly. So it's not very fun at all doing this by yourself. Maybe as a DPS it'd be a little easier because you're able to put down more damage, but doing this, the slaughterhouse solo, is a challenge in itself. So I tried to do it in another video, and I only made it to round 8, and you'd be surprised. It's very difficult, and I only made it to round 8 not only because it got hard, but it was just the length of time it was taking. It was driving me mentally crazy. And if you want to see that video, it is on my channel. But since then, I have gotten a lot of upgrades, so don't worry. You'll see later in the video how I got those upgrades. But I wanted to talk about a lot of the Seal Trader stuff as well real quick with you guys. And I recommend, if you're going to the slaughterhouse and you don't have very good armor, the dragon armor is very good in the Seal Trader at the market in Protector's Enclave. It's usually in other markets around the map and other places as well, but easier to find it at Protector's Enclave. Even in the Spider God is some decent armor, but it can take some time grinding this, as you'll need to go into dungeon queues, which isn't very fun. And whether you decide to grab this or go straight for the slaughterhouse, it really doesn't matter. Either or takes just as long. Getting this armor might take you some time. It's a lot of that currency that you need, so it's going to take you some time. In my opinion, I only have like 200 of that currency, and I've been kind of doing a little bit of dungeons every now and then, so I think I have a little bit more, but not even. So you really need to sit there and grind out the dungeons. But that's all I really have to say about the slaughterhouse. If you do the PvP, it scales your item level to 85,000, and that's only for the PvP. I don't know if it's for the PvE as well, but if you look it up, it says it is. So, but I don't know. If you know the truth of that, let me know the truth, and you should do so. But we're going to talk about the Undermountain. Go ahead and cut to the next scene. There we go. So yes, the Undermountain, released June 19th, 2019, 3 years after I stopped playing the game, and that's why I wanted to go over it and generalize my opinions and my thoughts towards the Undermountain and what I truly think about it. And my first thought right away is, when I think about the Undermountain, is this place is the most expensive, massive campaign. Its campaign it takes so long to complete. And if you're wondering exactly how long, it takes approximately 8 to 10 hours to beat the entire Undermountain. So it is massive. This is one of the biggest things they added in 2019, I think, and it was a huge stepping stone for Neverwinter, and it was just an entirely new area, and I'm sure most people were excited to see this. I didn't really know it was a new addition when I came back to the game. It just kind of blended in with everything, but after doing more research and stuff, came to find out like this was a completely new area, and when I came back to the game, I actually completed this whole area and, you know, done the whole campaign for it. So I wanted to go over a lot of it, and yeah, most of the campaign I would feel myself losing touch, but there was a lot of beautiful little areas in the Undermountain, you know, when I came down here and was doing the campaign and stuff. There's a lot of little places that you'll find that are very notable and on the edge of the map, of course, which you'll see a little bit in the next video, by the way, you guys. A couple of secrets and do-dandy things that I'll have to show you in the next video. I've been scouring the edges of the Neverwinter map, so if you want to see that in the next video, then find me in the next video. yeah, I don't know where else you would find me, but anyways, and sometimes when, you know, exploring, if you've explored enough in the Undermountain, there's like a cave, and there is a dinosaur in that cave in the Undermountain somewhere. If you've been down there, then you know where it is. If you don't, you'll have to venture to find it to yourself. And I'm pretty sure dinosaurs were introduced into the game around 2017 and the Tomb of Annihilation, so I'm not too sure if I was playing then, because I remember I was playing like crazy, but around 2017 is when I stopped gaming for a bit and then came back a little bit later. And this year, 3 weeks ago, I decided to give, you know, Neverwinter another shot. And yeah, here I am. I explored the Undermountains. I completed the whole campaign, and so I wanted to talk a lot about that. And I've had it completed since, you know, I came back to this game, but I never made any videos on it, sadly, while, you know, doing it, which I wish I did, but I didn't know it was like a thing they added in 2019, a little after I had stopped playing. So really wish I had made videos while doing the campaign of the Undermountain, but instead, I'm making this video talking about it instead. And I know there are some things missing from Neverwinter that they've taken out. I'm not sure if it's dungeons or what it was, but I know some things from the older days have been taken out of the game. But this is one of the newer things, and I'm sure when they added it, people were hyped. And I think it was cool, you know, from those times, because it was a place where even if you were at the start of the game, you could go and venture to right away and get started on that campaign. So it was something that was readily accessible for everyone in its time when it came out. So when I did the Undermountain, I liked it, but the missions were grueling. But that's all I really have to say about the Undermountain. And again, if you come to the Slaughterhouses, bring a friend. I came here with Pimp Daddy Pally. Of course, I'm going to include Pimp Daddy Pally. He is literally a part of this Neverwinter adventure that I've done since I've come back to the game. I met him while on this journey of returning to the game, so we're going to include him. He came and helped me in a slaughterhouse. So we might make a video on me and Pimp Daddy Pally surviving in the slaughterhouse, because he is extremely powerful. Helped me fix my whole build, by the way, today. So if you saw a video of me trying to survive in the slaughterhouse, Pimp Daddy Pally literally helped me fix my entire build. Now I have insignia bonuses and everything, so that's why I know about that now. Didn't really know about that when I came back to the game, which honestly, there's a lot of other stuff I'm probably going to go and delve back into in other videos, like that topic that I just talked about. Yeah, but bring friends, because soloing this is going to be boring, especially if you're a tank. You're just going to be endlessly hitting a boss, and it's going to be boring. It's more so the dues of time that's going to be testing you, rather than the actual game and the enemies in it itself, to be real. And this was literally right when I logged on, because I was going to go gather footage for an outro, and all these people were outside the slaughterhouse, and I was like, this is cool, and I was like, it's a great time to maybe join someone. And as I was thinking that, this guy invites me to a group, so I went on a little slaughterhouse adventure with these guys, and we ran some rounds. So yeah, that's a fun little thing. If you guys come out here, it's pretty easy to group up with people. There is plenty of people, as you can see, just with where I'm at on Xbox. There's quite a few people here, so y'all shouldn't really have a problem, you know, finding groups for this stuff. It should be super easy. Plenty of other people that want to come down here and do this stuff too. I just thought it was super interesting though. I just got on and there was just a group sitting there, and I stood there for long enough that they decided to invite me. So yeah, I joined them, and it honestly made the slaughterhouse a lot more fun, because, you know, it was just so much quicker getting through these bosses. And, you know, I was a lot more powerful after, you know, I fixed a lot of my stuff, like my, you know, insignia bonuses and a lot of my other things. You know, Pimp Daddy Pally went through that stuff with me for quite a while, for like 30 minutes, and helped me fix a lot of my characters. So don't worry, guys, I am now a lot more powerful. So yeah, great stuff when it comes to the Undermountain and slaughterhouses. I really wanted to talk about these things with you guys, because it is very new when it comes to, you know, the things I've seen. And of course, maybe it's newer to you. And I think I only went to about round 8 with these guys. And don't worry, if you're in a group like this big and you're still dying, it's completely normal. Even the other tank on my team was struggling, it seemed. And you can see at points when I'm trying to tank literally everything, that I just can't handle it. But it's kind of good to take that much damage so that your team can pull through and complete the round. So it's not always bad if you know, get vanquished. But anyways, you guys, I'm sorry I can't go over some of the newer dungeons and stuff, but don't worry, I'm gonna get my item level up, and I'll be right to that stuff, and I'll be ready November 25th when the new update on Neverwinter comes out, you guys. And like I said, I'm just happy they're still adding stuff to this game. As a returning player, I'm cool to see that there's new stuff being added in. It's fine with me. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'll see you next time. Stay safe in the lands of Neverwinter. Subscribe.